Hello, welcome to another episode of the Philippine Business Playbook Podcast. I'm here with a very special guest, Ivan Fernandez, our head of IT and facilities. Ivan's been with us for how many years now?
It's been eight and a half years.
8.5 years. So I know Ivan's seen us doing these videos around the office and helping set up and doing all the things behind the scenes, but now you get to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, this is my first time.
I don't know. You're gonna be a big star. You're gonna, you got the face where you got the good looks. If we're lucky, we're gonna get you singing later.
Oh,
no. When I know that I've done many a karaoke party with Ivan, and he is a crooner. So maybe at the end of this we'll do a couple of bars. All right. So I just wanted to kind of bring you on here, talk about our facilities, the IT support. I know that when we're talking with potential clients or even just our audience here, a lot of them started on Upwork and Freelancer, onlinejobs.ph, hiring an admin or a VA, and all of those people, for the most part, are working from home. So when they talk to me, they're like, "Well, why would I want somebody working in the office? What's important about that? Why is that better than just having them work from home?" And I'm always talking to them about our beautiful space here and everything, and just why that's great. But we didn't always start here, right? You've been with us for several moves along the way. How many moves now? Is it 4 moves? 4 moves that...
this is our fourth office.
Fourth office. 3 moves, I guess.
3 moves.
Three moves. So it's maybe you could just give the audience a little bit of history about the history of Tahche and where we've moved around Cebu.
Okay, so first, when I joined Tahche, the office was still in Talisay. So that was way back 2013 to 2018. And then from there, we transferred to the Greenery in Mabolo. And from we stayed like 3 years there. And then we transferred to another site, which is on the Ayala Mall. It's Ayala Center Cebu Tower. We stayed in the 19th floor. And then last September 2022, 2 years ago, we moved here. And then the new office is really huge. We have the 9th floor, whole 9th floor rented for Tahche.
I mean, we're always trying to go to bigger and better spaces. I know as we've grown, we've kind of outgrown those humble beginnings that we've had, and I'm always amazed because we're moving 50, 100, 150, 200 people from location to location, and our clients don't want to have any downtime during that period, and so how do you move a couple hundred people from one space to another space?
First of all, we have to coordinate proper coordination with the client. We let them know. We set a schedule for them. This is the weekend that we will be moving your team to the new office, and we have to have a parallel connection of the internet connection up and running. So when we transfer the first batch or the second batch to the new office, there's no downtime. So it's just the proper coordination with the client and the scheduling, really.
Sure. And I know for our clients that we have in the office, they grow a lot faster than the clients that we have from home. And I think it's because of the camaraderie and the supervision and all that stuff that you have in the office. But additionally, and just to be clear for everyone, we do have some staff that are at home. About 30% of our staff is work from home. Right. But the ones that are in the office, maybe you can just kind of differentiate for those viewers that are thinking about growing their team in the Philippines, or potentially new clients that are saying, why do I need to have people in the office? And so what are the benefits of having somebody in the office from a facility standpoint, the ISP providers, electricity, that kind of stuff, security?
So first of all, if the employee is in the office, he or she has a better internet stability connection here in the office.
And it's more than just we've got a high-speed line. How many internet service providers do we have?
We have 2. Okay. We have the primary and the secondary for backup. So we have like the first we have like a 300 Mbps of dedicated line for the primary, and then we have a 200 dedicated line also. That's all fiber that we are maintaining here in the office. So
And there's a couple of clients I think that have their own dedicated lines. Is that correct?
correct. They have their own network. They have their own internet dedicated line in the premise of their office.
And then from a electricity standpoint, how is being in the office better than being in work from home?
There's no downtime here in the office because our generator kicks in like 10 seconds after the failure. And then second is we can supervise their employee. So we can improve productivity on the side of the employee and camaraderie also with other employees, because we have like a lot of collaborative spaces that we have here in the office.
And what is the security setup for the office as far as like, strangers coming in or heaven forbid some sort of physical altercation or something like that? What is the security like in the office?
First is in the lobby we have the building guard, and then second security that we have is the access card that's issued only to the employees. And then when you reach 9th floor, we also have our own security that's stationed next to the elevator.
Very friendly guy.
Yeah.
He's very nice, but strict at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, necessary for security guys.
Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I think that what people don't realize is that there's, in addition to having, just having the office, it's really, you need it when there's an issue. And if you've got a big office, 10 people, 15 people, or even 5 people, you can't afford to be down for days or weeks at a time, especially, in the Philippines. Actually, like in the U.S., on when you're near the coast, there's hurricanes or typhoons, and there's earthquakes like they have in California, and there's these things that happen. And I know that we went through an earthquake when we had the office in Talisay, if you remember that. Yeah. And we had to, I think we had a structural engineer that came and
check the buildings.
Check the buildings, right. And then more recently, we had a Typhoon Odette, that came through, and really it was one of the strongest typhoons that the Philippines has encountered in a very long time. And I'm really proud about how you and your team dealt with that. We have our business continuity plan, and really put that into motion and got the facility running smoothly very quickly. Can you maybe just talk about that experience in that time? Because I know it was a terrible typhoon, and there was flooding and electricity outages and everything else.
Yeah. So, it was terrible at that time. 3 years ago, Odette struck Cebu. So there were parts of the city that has no electricity for about a month. But luckily, in our building, we have a backup generator that was on during the whole time. So operation was normal in the office. So the only thing that we lacked at that time was water. So
and how do we take care of that?
We contacted one of our cousins in Tubod in Mindanao, and then we have him ship like a 10-footer container.
Shout out to Pupoy.
Yeah, of water. Of water here in Cebu. So we had like 450 gallons of water. So we shared that with our employees to bring it home for their families. And then also, so we never run out of water in the office.
And I remember there was like rooms full of water.
It was on the corridor.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere. But you have to have water. And I know that it was.
It's necessary for the operations because we were 24/7 at the time.
Right.
No stoppage of work.
Yeah, and I know that for some of our clients that had not only teams with us at Tahche, but had separate teams, it was. I mean, they just couldn't operate if you don't have electricity for weeks at a time. It's just impossible. And so I'm really proud about how we handled that situation. And we actually, we helped some of the employees that were dealing with that issue at that time. We had some employees that were sleeping here
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah,
right?
that's correct.
Yeah, and so we,
Bringing their babies.
right, bringing their
babies into the office.
Yeah.
Just for the baby to sleep well, because we have AC on the whole
Yeah.
time. We have water, we have electricity. So, yeah, that's.
I
the
mean,
purpose.
it's I think part of the Filipino culture of like when bad things happen, working together and overcoming, and I'm really proud of the small part that Tahche did, and thank you for leading the charge on that at that time. And then to me, that's like the main reason to make sure that you have an office is like you're going to have continuous operations. You're not in a fragile situation where your whole office could go away if a typhoon comes through. You know that you've got a building and a team that's going to make sure that you have continuous operations here in the Philippines when you're working with Tahche. And the other kind of major disruption that we've dealt with in the past was the pandemic. And I know that was a very, hopefully that'll never happen again, but just how we dealt with that at that time. And just, very briefly, can you just talk about how the Tahche team went above and beyond to address that, to ensure that continuous operations for our clients?
Okay. So, first is we rented a vehicle and assigned to different locations of the city just for the employees to get from their location to the office. But when time comes that they cannot, the intercity location was locked already. So what we did was we rented a house in the main city, in Cebu City. And we also have assigned a vehicle for them to pick them up on the Airbnb site where they rented out, and then bring them to the office, supply them with food. And also we have work from home employees that my team, brought the PCs to
You're
different,
distributing the PCs all over the city.
all over.
Yeah.
We went as far as Karkar on the south side and Consolacion on the north
Sure.
side.
So well beyond the city.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that was a challenge for us at that time because of the different
The regulations and the rules,
of different barangays and cities
Yep.
inside Cebu.
Yep.
So, but we have to deal with it.
Yeah. And I think it's just kind of rolling with the punches, making sure we always follow the rules. It's been my philosophy that we're always going to follow the rules. We're not going to have pirated software. We're not going to have, I don't know if they're pirated computers or whatever. But anyways, we're not. We're going to always follow the rules as far as permits and licensing, and we're not going to put ourselves in a situation where the police are going to come in and confiscate all your computers.
True.
You hear horror stories about that, and it's about making sure that you have a facility and an operation that's safe from issues with whether or not they're natural disasters or they're legal disasters. And
Correct.
I think if you properly plan for all these scenarios, can be in a situation where you're going to have continuous operations for your team. And so I appreciate you kind of backing me up on that philosophy and making sure we're always safe in that process. Maybe if a client or somebody was thinking about like, I want to have a team and we're going to work on huge files and huge projects and are we going to be able to have operations that can handle those types of data flow and data workload? How does that work with you and your team coordinating with the client to make sure that happens?
In those cases, we usually coordinate to their ITs, their in-house ITs or their third-party ITs on how we can make that work. Because there are files that are really large that it's really, for us, hard to download in just one setting.
Right.
So we coordinate with their IT on the US side, and also we coordinate with their employees here. So it's just a matter of really talking it out, just to accommodate what the client needs.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yeah, and you know, on a lighter note, I know you've become a little bit of a plantito within the office. I told Ivan we gotta you know, bring a little life into this office here, and so you know, you've got all these beautiful plants, and you got a vendor, right?
yeah.
So you're not going around and you know, trimming the plants and watering.
No. They're handling it. They're handling that for us. So they change plants every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then some of their staff are coming to the office twice a week to water the plants, fertilize the plants, and just
now it looks like a mini jungle in here with all the plants. So you know, you ask Ivan to do something, he's gonna go above and beyond. But also, you know, I mean, you know, all joking aside, I think it's awesome. It's great to have kind of, you know, the living things there in the office, and also the, you know, the murals that you've helped put up, and the additional artwork that we've gotten locally from local artists.
Right.
Yeah, and so to me that's important, and I think it adds to the culture of the office and what we're trying to do for people that are working in the Tahche offices. We want them to be proud of what they're, you know, comfortable and proud where they're working, and you know, really want to come into the office.
Yeah. Yep. Correct.
So, well, I think that there's a lot more stuff coming up, and you know, bigger and better things, and the office is continuing to expand both here in Cebu and in Manila at our Ortigas office.
Yeah, correct.
And I know that you're gonna take care of us and you know, take us on to the next step to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I will. With your leadership, yeah, I know I will.
Well, Ivan, thank you. Thanks for coming on the Philippine Business Playbook podcast.
Thank you, guys.
You know, it's maybe not enough time for singing today, but on the next one. All right. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into, you know, the facilities that you've seen in our videos. I'm really proud of what we have here, and I think that when we've had clients come and visit and see the space, they're always amazed by like how beautiful the space is and how well taken care of it is, and you know, that's because of Ivan here, and so that's why I wanted to bring him on to talk about, give us an excuse to talk about that, because it's really an important part of what we do for our clients, and really what my vision is about having teams in the Philippines and connecting them with our clients or you know, people in the U.S. generally. And so I want you to think about that when you're starting your office in the Philippines. You know, do you want them just working from home and dealing with the inconsistencies and issues associated with that, or do you want to have them in an office where that you can have the camaraderie like you were talking about, and the guidance and mentorship and leadership to really grow their team, and can you have them in a first-class building like we are here, where you can really, you know, really show pride in your team and have them really, you know, be happy about where they're working, want to come to work and grow that. So hope that gives you something to think about. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button. Put some comments in there. If you got any questions for Ivan, I'm sure he would love to respond to them. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Have you subscribed to the podcast?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
All right. So please subscribe to the podcast. Share it with all your friends that are thinking about growing teams in the Philippines. We want to continue to grow this community. And we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. If you want to just hear the dulcet tones of Ivan on there, you could do that. So until next time, thank you very much. This has been the Philippine Business Playbook Podcast.